Video is a really great marketing medium when it's used right within your B2B website. It's a really exciting format that you can use to communicate in ways and communicate things that, copy and still images and even animation can't do. But there are definitely good and bad ways, effective and ineffective places to utilize it. Within your main website, video can be a very effective way in which to help a visitor understand a complex topic or a deep subject. You can communicate in a 1 or 2 minute video much more than you can in a 50-word paragraph, if you can get the buyer to watch that video and pay attention to it. So in terms of the website, the most effective uses of video are, for the most part, supporting the comprehension of the product and offering. So that's not background video that plays behind your hero statement, in the homepage hero section, which is going to be likely to be more of a distraction than an aid. But if on that page or on product pages you include video that explains your offering or demos it, it can be a really good way to utilize video to communicate the complex. If doing so, I think it's really important to think about the experience for the visitor. So it's very easy to embed a YouTube player into a page when you have a video that's relevant. And we see this frequently when we're looking at websites, for the show. The issue I have with that approach is that so often the YouTube player is either tiny or full screen. Those are the only two options available to the website visitor. Most of us don't want to watch a tiny video, but also we don't want to watch it in full screen, where everybody in the office can see what we're watching and we can see nothing else that we're doing on our screen. So I think you'll find buyers refrain from making it full screen, but can't make it a comfortable size to watch, and that might mean they don't watch it. It's also a good idea to create video intentionally for your website, in the sense that a recorded webinar, where slides are shown, where very small details are present, isn't easy to consume in that very small YouTube video player if that's what you're using. And again, the fact that the buyer won't blow it up to full screen means that kind of content is even less likely to get watched from start to finish. So it's a good idea to use video that contains simpler, larger elements that are easy to see, at a small size, if that's necessary. Another thing to consider is audio. The vast majority of B2B website visitors are not going to listen to or turn on the audio. And so if your video doesn't have subtitles natively embedded in it, it's going to be very hard for them to get the value you probably intend them to achieve. Now, YouTube obviously can provide subtitles, but that necessitates you use the YouTube embed, which is probably too small or too big to be effective. And it opens you up to the very familiar and common YouTube experience, which is the minute they pause that video, they're offered content from all sorts of other sites and places, which is a total distraction from what you're trying to do. And those subtitles, they might not turn them on, they're not on automatically, and therefore they're most likely looking at a video they can't interpret because they can't hear anything. They're not going to watch it to the end. So the perfect way to get video right on your website is to use a player which you can control the size and the experience of. So that's either a moderately sized window where they can watch it with ease, or a pop-up player that again allows them to watch it with ease without taking over the whole screen, but without being too small either. Think about what you're presenting. Use video with intention. Don't use webinars where small text on slides is the core content, because it'd be really hard for them to follow along with. And go to the effort to embed those subtitles so that people can understand it with the audio off. That's probably the best way to use video on your main website pages to support the product or service or solution that you're offering. There's a whole other category of video, which is educational video. which is video like the webinars that you run, podcasts like this one, informal video that you shoot at events or just around the office. Those types of video have great value, but not within the main pages of your website. They are more part of your demand creation and demand generation efforts, where you will be sharing pieces of them to social, you'll be hosting them on YouTube for discoverability purposes, but doing so separately from the format and the version that you present on your website, because those are all things that are very effective at reaching buyers earlier on in the decision-making process. When buyers find your video natively on YouTube, they're there to watch video first and foremost, so they will do things that they won't do on your website, like plug in their headphones. And actually, the UI, the size of the video and its location and placement on their screen is better for them watching that in-depth content, including the ones where you had slides behind your webinar presentation, for example. So it's a very different experience to the one on your website, which allows and affords slightly different formats and types of video to work well. So video is an incredibly powerful medium. Recommend to everybody start creating video straight away, but know whether you're using it for demand creation and education or for communication on your website and ultimately demand capture. Create video with intention for both of those applications, and when on your website, control the user experience. Make sure it's right so that the visitor can enjoy and get the value from that video, and that you don't end up with just a wasted YouTube player that nobody engages with.